Hello and welcome to the MUN Command X MUN Podcast, which is now called To The MUN.
Ooh.
We are launching off into stratospheric levels today because we're talking about how you as a conference organizer can get a lot of delegates and attention to your
the moon.
conference. To
your moon.
Dude! Unbelievable. Yeah, no, that's going to be our topic today. I don't know, I've been an organizer for conferences.
Right.
And we have struggled getting delegates. And
I think everyone has. And
Yeah.
people we talk with a lot. They ask us, how do we attract people to sign up in the end? How do we get people to actually come to the conference?
Yep.
So that's going to be the core of today's episode.
Yep. And we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about what else matters really, because social media obviously isn't the only thing that's going to get you delegates.
No offense, but you can do the most marvelous social media and advertisement and marketing and all these things. If in the end people just be like, I don't want to go to that conference, then there's not much of a point.
I don't want to go.
So have a great conference is probably the bottom line, because nothing sells as great as just
It's true.
mouth-to-mouth propaganda.
It is. That is really the core, being engaged with people, talking to people and getting people on board like that. And you're hearing about, that conference was amazing last year, and then you're obviously keen to go. It goes a long way.
That being said, this is not the most structured way probably, but one thought that just shot to my head was the best way of attracting people for your conference is attending conferences yourself or with your organizing team, especially the, let's say, year leading up to the conference. Try to go to as many conferences as you can, and ideally bring something like a sticker or a flyer, or make people follow your social media, like your Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or whatever it might be, so that you are the face and you give a face to your conference, and people in the end they will go not because of the conference only, but because they want to see you again.
No, it's totally true. Like, for example, Carmen, right, the conference that you were a Secretary General for 2 years ago.
Yes.
They even, way back when, my days, 2014, 2015, they had those stickers and they were all over Europe, essentially.
It was
crazy.
They even took them to outside of Europe, rumor has it.
Rumor has it. Such as World MUNs in various places and stuff like that.
That's right.
No, so that was really impressive, and it really made you aware that conference has a presence, and then obviously you start talking to those people and they're like, don't you want to come? And you're like, why not? And I think that is one of the things that is going to be really the challenge now after COVID, where a lot of those sort of connections you had in MUN are sort of broken up because some people stopped doing MUN because they're grown out of it. But really, being close with those other MUN societies just goes such a long way in getting those delegations to come to your conference. I think just being close with them, being in touch with them, having that personal connection with them really matters a whole lot more than just you sending an email listing the committees you have and the topics you're debating, because topics I don't know.
If you do have creative topics that stand out, that actually, for me, that always was something where I was like, oh, that's an interesting topic. It's not like I would make my choice based on the topic, but again, you want to stand out from all the other conferences.
Yep.
And I think this might be a great way to start talking about the social media and communications.
I would wait another second, because I think the topics thing is actually one thing that made me think of something else right now, and that is conversion.
Right.
So if you have your conference listed, for example, on mymun, where we at least certainly, especially even more so in a new mymun that's coming, but also in the mymun already, it's very clear what kinds of committees there are, what the topics are for those, and that sort of thing. So this is already clearly laid out.
Right.
Now, if somebody comes to your committee page, ideally you want to have a great conversion and turn as many visitors as you get on your page, be it a mymun page or just your own homepage, to go and apply now.
Right.
Because when they are applied, they are committed, they are likely going to come to your conference.
Essentially keeping the marketing funnel open. It's essentially, you have a lot of people that enter your page, and then the conversion would be the ratio of people coming to your page versus those who actually commit and sign up.
Exactly. And what's really, I think, important there is to really provide people with something that really excites them about your conference right now. And that is not going to be a massively long text. Nobody reads those anyway. But then again, I think the community topics, if there is something that excites you about that conference, you're like, oh man, I'd love to debate that. That would be so much fun. I think that can go a long way. I think I remember, I don't even know what I liked it back then, but it turned out to be amazing in Istanbul. Went there with a friend, was double delegate committee, which was then during the conference sometimes split into two committees debating different parts of the issue. And that was sort of, if I recall correctly, it was like Turkey after the First World War or something, where it was about dividing things up and sort of that sort of thing.
All right.
And that was really, really exciting and so much fun. And that was something that you don't really get a lot.
But I would also make a point, something that I noticed, especially about, when researching MUNs, make it straightforward, make it easy for delegates to apply.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Look, there's so many conferences where I go to the website and I'm like, okay, when is this conference and where is it?
Yeah.
And maybe how much is the delegate fee?
Yeah.
When can I apply? These extremely simple questions. Because the thing is, the matter of the fact is that no matter if you're sending out emails or having it on your website or on social media, you will always know when your conference is because you focus on that. That's your thing the whole time. But me as a delegate, I don't. I don't know where maybe whatever St. Gallen is. Tell me, St. Gallen is in Switzerland, Europe. Tell me when that conference is. Yeah. So really, make it simple. Something, whenever you send out an email, remind people it's on that date. Remind people in the caption of your social media post. Don't just say, sign up for my conference at whatever, mymun.com, but say, my conference is happening, 1st to 3rd of October in Karlsruhe, whatever, Germany. Because honestly, it's so simple, but I know how hard it is to kind of keep track of it, and to always kind of remind yourself of it over and over again. Again. I can't stress that point enough.
No, that's really, really valuable point. I cannot remember the times I've gone to conference homepages and it's like, 150 days until the conference. I'm like, okay, when is that? Is that like in September or October? I don't fucking count the days from now until whatever that is. Anyway. So yeah, that's the thing. Also on mymun, I always I encourage people to have long phases for applications.
Right.
Because if I'm there on that page and then applications open for some other reason in a month for delegates, I might just forget about it and not come back to it. So if delegates can just go and apply, that goes a long way.
Something interesting I didn't know and I learned through the last couple of months, because most of my MUN career, if you want to call it like this, was in university.
Yep.
And only one conference I attended in high school. But high school conferences, especially if you attract high school conference students, they plan way more in advance because they have their academic years and all that, much more than I felt university students would. So especially when you're organizing or hoping to attract high school students, I would say put your dates out at very, very, very least half a year in advance. At very least. Because I remember talking to a teacher who was looking already a few months back, it's now September, and that was, say, in July or so, for a conference in March, February of next year. So this is, 3/4 of a year in advance.
And that's not just, it really applies more so than to high schools, but even in universities. So we started at the beginning of the semester, we're like, okay, we're gonna go to PyMun or WorldMun, say in spring next year. And if those dates are clearly set out, it just makes the conference that much more attractive.
Plus, another thing, other conferences are looking for when to set their date. And of course, you want to claim that one weekend and not have the conference next town, just, take that other weekend. So if you're the, so to say, first one to be on that weekend, chances are the other ones will check which other conferences are happening on that weekend, and when they see that your conference is, then they may choose the other weekend, which helps
you. Now, okay, so let's talk about social media a little bit, because although I feel like it is almost a little bit overrated, you cannot underestimate it.
Like, you cannot go without it.
You can't go without it, and it's not that easy. So the first thing in social media, obviously, is document, don't create, and that is why with MUNs you often see those like chair introductions, all that sort of stuff. Like, you have that much content generally for your conference, you could talk about it and create content about it for ages, introducing the topics, introducing the chairs, introducing
the team, the secretariat, the location,
the socials, the locations, the city,
which is fine, but it doesn't stand out.
No,
usually.
No, you have, but fundamentally you have endless amounts of content. Question is, how are you going to be unique about it? And how are you going to make people actually pick up on that and just be like, not be like, I don't care about it?
One thing that people post a lot is, collaboration and partners. Well, okay, fair, you have content, but I don't really, I see it so much that I'm like, okay, I now see that MUN and that MUN, they're partners. Okay, congrats, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you are, a bit lost.
You're like, okay, so what? Yeah. So we feel that, I think videos absolutely stand out,
yep.
Especially those Instagram Reels, TikTok videos. Those stand out, and I think the algorithms, they also rank you much higher.
I think Reels, especially if you're organizing a conference now and you're trying to attract delegates, I think Reels can be a great way if you're a bit creative about them. And you don't have to do anything like crazy, but if you are a bit creative about them, they generate a lot of reach beyond just your typical user base and audience, which you would normally reach with posts and stories.
Right.
So that
we saw that in our statistics on Instagram, right?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So I was dabbling, like, even my private account with it Reels a little bit, and I got like 3,000 views on the second one. It's like, wait, who are those people? Like, who watches that nonsense? Clearly, people do though. So that's really, I think, that's the way to go probably these days for conference promotion, on Instagram at least. And then, go with your posts, have a strong presence there. I think it just, one big thing is giving people confidence in your conference. I feel like, because
trust and a brand.
Exactly, yeah. Because with MUN, for example, especially in the olden days, I always had a confidence it was going to be a great conference. I had confidence in a team, and I knew like what I was going to get. And a lot of other conferences, when I see their online presence, let's say pre-conference presence on various platforms, if that's not sorted out, my confidence in them organizing a great conference experience are much lower.
But here's the thing. Let's translate this to direct, this building trust to a direct, possible post. And what I was just thinking of, how about creating a video of people who signed up last year, who had a blast at the conference, friends you made, telling people through a reel or something how much they loved your conference and how excited they are to see new faces and new delegates at your conference. Really, this testimonials sounds so business, but just sharing voices of people who've been there.
Yeah, honestly, like, one of the things I love most about our say presence online almost is that those testimonials that we now have on the MUN Command page.
Shout out if you're listening and if you're one of them.
Daria, Egan,
Sarah Luna, and JCU is Manuela.
Exactly, Manuela.
Yeah, Manuela.
Anyway, so I think that gives a lot of warmth to the whole thing. I love to see that, and I was really happy just watching them personally. And I think just going onto the page now, it's just so nice to see those faces and to feel like that's like an organization that has a bit of robustness, and you can use that for your conference as well. All right.
Enough social media? Or?
I'm not sure.
I mean, there's always something to that.
You can continue talking. So one very practical tip, if you're not using Canva yet, use Canva. You can even get, as a student, a free Canva Pro year. If you sort of take the extra route of using your Edu account to get yourself a GitHub Pro subscription. And then with that, you get a code for, or like a coupon for 1 year of Canva. GitHub being sort of a programming kind of
Shoot us a
cloud-
message if you're like unsure about that.
cloud platform, but just GitHub, GITHUB. This is no ad. We're using it ourselves. That's why we're mentioning it. And then, didn't you, for Carmen, also use some paid promotion on Facebook or social media?
Yes, I think a little bit. Like, I mean, now we're moving towards the point where, like, okay, we did all the, let me call it free stuff, although I know your time isn't free and you invest that as well. But, financially speaking, you can, of course, boost your posts in Instagram and Facebook and really target it down to a very narrow target group. It's hard to measure, kind of like, I mean, yes, you can fully like track it and trace it and see like who signs up through those things. But honestly, if you haven't done those a lot, I feel like fully going on with the tracking isn't so much worth it. But still, it's nice like to get some extra visibility at your campus.
I think especially locally. Yeah, like if you're talking about your campus, I think if you're in town, you have like 20,000 students in town.
Yep.
Most of them are like more technically engineering versed.
Definitely here, yeah.
But still, for them, it's a very low barrier to get to MUN, like to the conference. So just in case you are able to get them excited about Model UN,
there you go.
You know, that can go a long way. And I think especially when you start spending money, it always comes down to, is there a return on your investment? Because eventually, you might be spending money, but that can mean you're getting that many more delegates and it's actually worth it in the end.
I mean, I'm not gonna, advertise, and by the way, we don't get any credit or any of this from Facebook or other organizations for this. I'm just saying that from organizing a conference myself and there, I think we had a return on invest, so we got more money, so to say, back from other people who signed up than we invested into the social media.
Yeah, and then okay, so this is not supposed to, like, the idea of this was not for it to be an ad for mymun, but obviously,
but we should mention that.
We should mention that we have promotional possibilities as well, because we have that many thousands of people every month going on a platform. So what we can do obviously is put conferences on a front page, like the landing page, mymun.com. Like, you can see the conference immediately. So you're getting so much visibility to like your audience. That's super valuable.
In other dedicated spots that give you extra presence.
And yeah, you can also be like highlighted for people on your continent. You can be highlighted just generally, but not on the front page. So those are things we can do. We obviously can mention you in certain emails and things like that, and also include you in some of our social media. Often what we do, actually, even like just in stories, if we are tagged and we feel like it's a cool conference, we just share it.
Tag us. Yeah. I mean, honestly, we cannot make promise that we will definitely tag us, repost you. But if you tag us, we'll definitely give our best to get you in our stories.
100%. And obviously, we are kind of like, we're at the moment rethinking exactly like how all of the promotional things on mymun are supposed to work in the future. But at the end of the day, like, our goal is really to get you the most delegates, because we ourselves know how
rewarding it is also to get to know new people through conferences, to make friendships and grow connections and all this. And this only works if you get, so to say, out of your bubble and people who haven't been to your conference yet and all these things.
Yeah. So this is definitely something to keep in mind. And yeah, I don't know, just do stuff. Like, being present, I think, is the most important thing you can do as an organizer. Getting into people's minds, talking to people a lot. Like, again, we mentioned in the very beginning, but talking to people who might come or who might even bring a delegation with them, it's the most important thing. And don't just shoot them an Instagram message. Don't just send them one email. Call them if you can. Do everything as much as possible. Because
send follow-ups. I mean, honestly, if you send them one message, they'd be like, oh, they sent a message. But then go a week later and send them another message and be like, hey, I just wanted to shoot your message, follow up on what what I proposed last week, and here if you had time to think about it or something.
Nobody responds to initial emails anymore. Like I don't.
Well, that's awful enough.
So no, but like it's the truth, huh? Like if especially when it comes to things which are like not immediately urgent to you.
Yep.
Then so this is definitely something, and then yeah, by just being prolific, by being there all the time. Like there's this one book 10x, which is a bit ridiculous, but it's really just about being there, and the more active you are, the more engaged you are with your team together, the more you're going to get out of it.
And if, don't worry. One more thing that we kind of had planned, if now there was, of course, a bit of, some insights that we just, threw onto you now. If you do want to kind of have a bit of a conversation with us on be it this topic or other topics, how to organize a conference, we are thinking about creating like a workshop series or something.
Yeah.
Where, every so often we just catch up with a bunch of organizers who got plans for a conference and just share some insights, be it on how to get a lot of delegates or other logistical and planning topics. Let's walk the talk.
You know what would be funny if we actually like just travel to a lot of conferences, and then like the day after we sit down with the organizers and do like a debrief.
That would be. Yeah, I think we're not. See, that's what I'm.
That would be so much fun, wouldn't it?
It would.
Oh man, I'd love to do that.
Although the day after a conference, I feel like all organizers just like leave me alone, like
leave me alone. Yeah, I mean, but I think that could be quite part of the fun. I don't know. So this is like even just the after what we did on MUN Command days after with the feedback from the conference, that was really fun. Anyway, that being said, I don't know what else is there to tell. We've already been talking for just over 20 minutes.
No, but then let's call it an episode.
Probably. Oh, actually, there's one more
there's
thought.
One thing.
When it comes to social media, design is such an important thing that I almost like we can't do that really well in a podcast. Like just go through a full MUN feed and be like, this is good, this is bad, this is why.
But here's the thing. If you kind of create and live a brand, this is not MUN specific, but for example, I remember receiving emails from, I'm just going to not be any, how do you say, discreet about it, from Egan. Egan's emails are written in green font, which might be borderline awful. Egan, no offense, but green is, well, but it sticks out. You remember it, and you remember that green is the color of SGMUN.
Yeah.
And this is that extra little bit of creativity and wildness that if you really take it to the next level and even write your emails in green font.
You're making me want to go to SGMUN now.
There you go.
No.
Just because of Egan's green font.
Yes, oh God. No. So one thing I would recommend you though is like we are not graphic designers.
No. You sometimes pretend.
I sometimes try really, really hard and don't really get there. But so, I mean, we iterated, right? We tried and we tried some stuff. We made it a little bit better every time. And now we have Yasmin helping us a little bit, who's way more talented in that than we are. But what you can do is scroll through your conferences feed, which I assume you're following a bunch of conferences with.
Oh, and get some inspiration there.
Get some inspiration. Have a close look at posts that other conferences do. Think about why they appeal to you, if they do.
And be picky about it.
Yeah, be picky about it. Think, just scroll through. If there's one that sticks out, pause and have a look at that. And think about, why does that stick out? Is it the font? Is it the white space? The spacing around your font that just gives it something interesting. Or if you scroll about something you find it very horrible, just pause a moment and think about why are they using 5 different fonts,
which is never a good idea.
Is the text too cluttered, or is it too dense? Is there too much information? Think about those things and really reflect upon them. And it's no shame to steal a little bit of inspiration from someplace.
As long as it's not mymun.
Yes. Yeah, don't use our colors or copy our posts. That has happened before, and although flattering is not exactly what we love to see.
No, but ask.
Oh, people using MUN Command. If people use MUN Command, they are obviously always invited to like co-brand a little bit with us.
Yes.
We have some guidelines for how that works. So,
but we're happy to shoot you over our logo and stuff. So
yeah. So
don't just screenshot it from somewhere.
Don't
like,
please.
We're just gonna send you a high resolution file and you can use it. But those are better than screenshots.
Yep. That might give you some credibility as well. Okay.
Nice.
I think I'm out of recommendations.
Okay.
That was I think this can be a conversation. Social media continues to be evolving. People keep telling me to do TikTok things, such as you and Yasmin.
Yes.
And
that's next.
Oh God.
All right. Check out our TikTok as well. And let's see if I got Alex to dance some TikTok moves.
And then is it like this? I don't.
We'll find out. Either way, together, guys, we're excited to debate
better. Command this out.